Hello guys, AntoineBn here for Simarchitecture and welcome back to a new video where I'm very excited to present to you because I have to admit that this is one of my favorite builds ever. So as you read in the title and you probably saw the thumbnail, we're building a French palace which is actually inspired by a real palace that I visited like 3 weeks ago. It is called the Château de Champs-sur-Marne. It's located near Paris, like 20 or 25 kilometers away from Paris. I've been there with a friend and we spent like 2 or 3 hours visiting the castle itself and the estate all around because there's a beautiful garden and some pavilions to see. And it was a very inspiring build. In terms of architecture and interior design, it's a very wonderful place. So this palace belonged to many people throughout history, but it's mostly famous for being, for a time, the castle of Madame de Pompadour, which was Louis XV's mistress, or favorite, as we say in French. So it is a beautiful place, which is, probably one of the most beautiful examples of French classical architecture, according to me. And it was also a very, let's say, surprising place because the old exterior is very 19th century like, but the interior is a mix of several styles, several centuries, and this is what makes this place very special. So there's some sitting areas that are completely 19th century and some others that are very 18th century, and all of this is living together, and yeah, it just makes it very, very special. And yeah, the good thing about this place is that it's quite far away from Paris for a regular tourist, as we can say. And most of the people don't have time to go this far from Paris during their vacation in France. So yeah, when I've been there, I think we were in total 4 visitors in the whole palace. So it was very nice, very peaceful. It's quite different from Versailles, actually. I don't know if some of you have been to Versailles once in their life, but Versailles is a little bit overcrowded, especially if you go there in the afternoon. It's just overcrowded. There are people everywhere. So here it was very different and very special to be in this atmosphere where, yeah, you can hear all the noises of the place. Like you can hear the floor cracking, you can hear the crystals of the chandelier, you can hear the birds singing outside. It was very relaxing actually to visit this place. Anyway, it inspired me for this build. I spent a lot of time building it and furnishing it also. But I think this is one of the most beautiful builds I have ever done. But you'll be a better judge than me, so please tell me in the comment what you think about this build. I love it because it's kind of very realistic and it just looks like, yeah, the real place actually. Of course, the garden is not as big as the real one and I somehow imagine it. I just took some elements that I saw there, but I do it on my own way for this build. And once again, I'm so sad that we don't have big lots. Like 64 by 64 is way too small. I know that some of you are getting crazy with building on such lots because I know when you're building a normal house, it's very big and you're like, what am I going to do with all this garden? But when you're starting building mansions and palaces, you're like, wow, actually 64 by 64 is just the size of the house. And I would need much more for a garden, which is appropriate to the house I'm building. Anyway, I think the result without this big garden I would dream of is kind of convincing. Like, I like it. And yeah, I'm very proud of it. But actually the exterior took me not so much time. It was okay. But the interior drove me a little bit crazy, especially when it came to do the floor plan. But luckily I had a little document when I was visiting the palace and there was a floor plan for the ground floor and for the first floor. So I could imagine how the rooms were designed. Of course, I couldn't make them all. First, because I didn't visit it all. Some of them were closed, and also because we don't have the same proportion, of course, in the game. So I had to improvise. Anyway, this place has 4 bedrooms, which are very large bedroom with a bathroom, living area, sitting area, library. Like, as we can say in French, we call this an apartment, which means that this is just how to say that, a few rooms that are just for one person, so they're all attached to one bedroom, and attached to this bedroom there is a living room, a sitting area, a bathroom, a boudoir, or whatever. So their design has apartments, and we have 4 main apartments. 3 are furnished, one of them is not furnished. I just wanted to keep it free, so if you download the place you will be able to design your own bedroom. There is also a smaller bedroom downstairs, which is kind of close to the real one in terms of style and atmosphere. And also, I didn't furnish them at all, but in the attic there is actually space for a lot of bedrooms that would be appropriate for servants, I think. And also, as you saw probably, in front of the palace there are 2 small pavilions at the entry of the palace. They can be used as guard houses or as, I don't know, tea house or whatever. I didn't furnish them, I just bought the wood panels, chandelier and curtains, but it's not furnished at all. And there is under each pavilion a small underground area where you can put stuff. I don't know what you can do with this. Yeah, and now if we go in, I can tell you a bit more about it. There's of course the entry hall, which is very in the style that I like. Very classical, not too much ornaments. It's somehow, a bit gold, but I like it. It's like very classical architecture. When you keep going, there is the main central sitting area, which is very luxurious with a lot of gold ornaments everywhere. And then if you go on the right, there is the main let's say sitting area, which is the most decorated, the most luxurious. There is also a library, which is very dark, more in a 19th century style. Attached to it there is another room in the same style, which is also sort of library. And there is a small, we can call it a boudoir. A boudoir is basically a small room where women used to go, well, rich or noble women, of course, because peasants doesn't have money to have a boudoir. They didn't have money to have a proper house, so they didn't have a boudoir. But yeah, there's this. What else? There's a small staircase leading to the first floor, but this is not the main one. There's a small bathroom, and on the other side there's the dining room, the kids dining room, the kitchen. There is a gambling room. There is also, let me think, the bedroom that I was talking to you about on the ground floor, with a closing room, as I can call it, and a bathroom. And of course, the main staircase, let's call it the staircase of honor. That's how it would be called, I think, or the great staircase of the house. It took me quite a long time to design because I wanted to be as close as possible as the real one that I've seen in the palace. And I'm quite happy with the way it turned out. So of course it's not 100% accurate as always, but I like the style. It looks very dramatic, very grand, and I think when you come in and see the staircase, like, you must be very impressed. And there is the 2 main bedrooms, or bed chambers, as you say when you're talking about a big bedroom in a palace. It's called a bed chamber, which is probably an outdated word, but I like it. There is no antechamber to the bedchamber. it's something usual in castles, but I had to make it playable and easy to go. So I didn't design all the antechambers and so on. So there is the, let's call it Monsieur bedchamber. So it's the bedchamber of the man who owns the place. There is a small private gallery next to it with paintings, sofas, and beautiful decoration. I really love the bedchamber, actually. It's very rich, almost royal, I would say. Anyway, on the other side, there is Madame bedchamber, so the wife of the owner. It's actually designed with Alexander Custom content set that was inspired by Marie Antoinette's bedchamber in Versailles, so it kind of looks like Versailles. It's flourished, rose, pink, sorry. There are a lot of flowers everywhere. Everything is luxurious, golden. Yeah, I love this room. It's probably the most beautiful one with the staircase and the other bedchamber. Attached to this bedchamber, there is actually 4 rooms. There is a small hallway, as we can say, I think. Right after that, there is a bathroom, and then there's also a clothing room and a boudoir with blue wooden panels that I really like, which kind of look like 19th century, and I like the mixing of 18th century bedchamber, 19th century boudoir, you know. And in the end, all of this is coherent and makes sense, I think. So yeah. And finally, there is another bedchamber which is all yellow, and I really like it. It definitely looks like a 19th century bedchamber, but yeah, I just love it. And next to that, actually attached to this, there is a sitting area with dark wood panels that I really like, with fireplace and a private library. It was something quite usual in big palaces to have a private library. If you go to Versailles, if you do the special visit dedicated to private apartments, you will see that the most important persons had their own libraries. So the kings had one, actually had 2 in his private apartments. The queens had 1 or 2. The Dauphine, which is actually the heiress of the throne, had 1. The Dauphin had 1. The royal mistresses had also private libraries. So it's something quite usual, and I like this idea to have your own special place where you can read and just can be, in your own world, in a peaceful place. And now I think I told you pretty much everything about this castle. I really hope you enjoyed it, really. If you've seen some other historical build that I've done, I would be glad to hear your opinion about this one. It was kind of different because I tried to mix items from different eras, different times, have the history, and I think altogether it really matches and it gives a special atmosphere to this house that we don't have in other historical builds that I've done before, because they felt a little bit cool, you know, a bit too grand actually to live in. And this castle definitely feels like a place where someone could be actually living, and I could totally imagine myself living in this place, to be honest. So yeah, I would be curious to know what you think about it, so don't hesitate to tell me in the comments how you feel about this build. I'm done with the build itself, and I think you heard quite a big difference in this video because this is the first time I'm recording with a proper microphone. I just went back from the mall where I bought a Blue Yeti microphone, which I wanted to buy for a long time, and thanks to the money that I get from YouTube, I was able to buy it, and yeah, I'm so happy to increase my quality here for these videos. And actually, it makes a huge difference to have this mic, because before I was actually recording a vocal memo on my phone, and then I put it on my computer, put it in my editing program, which by the way is Premiere Pro, sorry. I said it in the French way. And it was kind of difficult because my voiceover was not, how to say that, synchronized with the video, so I couldn't really talk live about what I was doing on the video because there is always like a gap. But now I'm recording directly in Premiere Pro, so it means that everything is synchronized, and when I'm saying look at this chair, there is actually a chair on the screen, which was not the case before. So yeah, it's a big game changer, and also it will allows me, as I told you in a previous video, to make some different content. I was thinking about visiting my old builds, some of the builds I forgot actually, and it would be me visiting these houses and recording my reaction to it and describing what I did this time. So these are actually split builds I've done like 2 or 3 years ago, so probably most of you didn't see them because it was a long time ago where no one was following this channel, so probably it would be the occasion for you to discover them again with better sound, better graphics, better editing, better everything actually. So I think it would be nice to discover these places, and yeah, I would be happy to see my old builds because, you know, I've done so many builds, so many videos on this channel that I forgot most of them. Yeah. Oh, I'm very happy with this new mic, really. I really hope you will enjoy it. As you know, I bought a new computer a few months ago, which allows me to have better graphics, better editing possibilities, and now I got this mic, and yeah, I feel that the quality of the videos is increasing and it just makes me happy and I love it. So yeah, I'm very excited. I think it's now time for me to leave you. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and as always, I will see you next time. Bye!